going to try to switch over. Hallelujah. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
As I begin to think about how God, with his ever-knowing knowledge and his ever-knowing what's going on, he is Jehovah Jireh, your provider. He knows what we need. It means that Almighty Jehovah is the creator and ruler of all flesh. There is no problem he cannot solve for us. He is the all in all, always God. There's nothing that is impossible. There's no impossibilities. There's nothing hard for him to handle because he is your Alpha and your Omega. Is anything too difficult for you this morning? Are you struggling with situations that seem to be deemed out of control? I want to take a pause and I want to ring your doorbell and wake you up and let you know that all things are possible through God. If you believe that it's possible, then so shall it be. We do not really know until we have faced an impossible situation to know that God is possible. Jeremiah had to be placed in an impossible situation to fully understand God could do all things but fail. God can fix all things. He can restore all things, renew all things. Most of the time we need to face the impossible for our faith to grow strong. Somebody in here need to go through some situations like my man over here did. He went through a situation that required him to recognize that it's possible that God can still feed him. It's possible that God will still clothe him. It's possible that God will still house him. How do he do it? He do it through you.
All right now.
He picks us one at a time and say, this is what I want you to do. That is what I want you to do. Why do you do what you do? Because you're still in love with God. And if you love God, he's going to ask you to do some things that seems impossible, but through God it's possible.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Tell your neighbor, I thought that I couldn't make it, but it's possible.
Yes,
because of the possibilities of God, it can be done. So what do we do when we are faced with an impossible situation?
Come on.
Remind yourself of who God really is. Do you ever forget what he done for you? Have you forgotten how far he brought you? Was it just yesterday that he restored you? Was it just yesterday that he gave you some help? Was it just yesterday that job that everybody else was told no to, you walked in there and he said yes to you?
All right now.
I just heard another testimony this morning where a sister said that she was down to her very last dollars. Didn't know where she was going to get her next money. But all of a sudden, she put in an ad, or even just someone asked her, do you have a place that I can stay with you or stay there? And she was okay if they would have just gave her $600. But God touches the heart of people and tell them to do more for you. And so that's the kind of God that makes the impossible possible. Is there anything too complicated for God? We got to revisit as often as we can how God already done it. Revisit what he did for you. Revisit how he restored you. Revisit when you were down in the ditches of life, when you were down in a place called loneliness. You were down in a place called despair. But along came a word from God.
Amen.
God lifted us up and restored us, gave us a new mind to serve him, gave us a new attitude. I can tell you right now, Jeremiah was going recognize just a word will do. If you get a word, the right word, the kind of word that starts the engines up in your life, the kind of word that gives you direction, the kind of word that tells you it's going to be all right, the kind of word that reminds you, if I did it back then, I'm going to do it again. Is there anything too hard for our God? I like to refocus continually on God's power instead of your own problems. Y'all hear that?
Yeah.
Stop focusing on your issues and start focusing on your God. Because I'm going to tell you something. Issues come and go, but God stays.
That's right.
He said, I'll never leave you, nor will I ever forsake you. I'll be there when everybody give up on you. I'll be there when everybody throw you to the curb. I'll be there when they tell you the water's shut off. I'll be there when the lights get cut off. I'll be there when they repossess the car. I'll be there when they throw you out the house. God is the kind of God that sometimes he's got to close that door because he's got a door over here that's much bigger. He said, I'll open up the windows of heaven and I'll begin to pour. He didn't say drip drop.
Come on, right now.
He said, I'll pour you out blessings. I come to tell you this morning that in the history of my love for God, he's always poured out things for me. He's always refreshing me. He's always restored me. He's always given me love when I miss my love. He's always gave me a hug when I needed one. You see, some folks just don't know what it feels like to be in a place called I need help.
All right now.
You see, God is the kind of God that won't give up on you because, see, you gave up on him. Sometimes we figure, well, we deserve what we gave. But God is not like that. God is a God that know that we're going to get in a position where we need him, and he's not going to do like we would do others. You know how when somebody do something to you, you tell them, well, you did it to me. Come on. I know y'all been there. We ain't all came out the same boat at the same time. We all had some issues. We all told folk, well, you did that to me. You shouldn't have looked at me like that. You shouldn't have said what you said. You shouldn't have did what you did. You shouldn't have hurt me like you hurt me. Sometimes folks can do things to you and it almost make you want to get back on them, spirit, get them back like they got you. But along came the positivity of God, and God reminds you that I didn't do that to you when you was down in your pit. I didn't do that to you when you was hurting. I didn't do that to you when you didn't have anything. What I did was I gave you what you needed.
Yes.
We worship and we read his word to be reminded of who and what he has done in history. Be a David facing a giant like Goliath and say to your giant, I come against you in the name of the almighty, mighty, wonderful counselor, God. I come against you because you're just a giant, but I got something that's bigger than you. I got a God that promised me if you go through a flood, I'm going to be with you. If you go through a storm, I'll hold the storm up. If you're in a place where you just need some steering, God said he'll take the steering wheel and get you to your destination. I don't know about you, but there's been accidents all over the place, but they just happen to pass you up. Why did they pass you up? Because there's nothing impossible. God don't quit. God don't go to sleep. God don't do the things like we do. Perhaps it is a physical situation. Maybe it's an emotional situation. Maybe somebody else might be saying, my situation is spiritual. I'm going through a spiritual crisis. But when you are at that spiritual crisis, let the truth sink in deep into your soul. Ready or not, nothing is too difficult for God. Ready or not, if God be for you, He's more than the whole world against you. He's looking for you to tie in, to hold on, to strap in. Don't worry about it. Just know that you know that you know it's going to be all right. It's nighttime. Somebody's struggling. Somebody's crying. Somebody don't know where they're at. Lost all your memory. It's nighttime. Can't see nothing. Can't hear nothing. Can't do nothing. All the money you got can't get you out of this one. But God is. He's able to do exceedingly, abundantly, all that you could ever think, want, or ask. Why don't you trust Him? Why don't you turn it over to Him? Why don't you give Him what He wants? He solves the problem of the bitter water in Marah. Don't you remember back in Exodus 15 and 23 through 26? They were going to drink some water, and the waters was bitter. There's some bitter folks up in here. Just need to get prayed over. Just need to come out of that thing. Your water's so bitter. Every time I look at you, you got bitter face on you. Look like you done ate a couple lemon drops. It's time to get that frown off your face and start smiling. Start looking forward to the good things of God. You see, in this particular situation, when they ran up into that bitter water, they went to the man of God, and the man of God said, take a piece of this stick and throw it into the water. Sometimes God tells the man of God or the woman of God to tell you something. It might not be what you want to hear, from the pew to the altar, when I took a step, I was looking over my life. There was addiction. There was hurt. There was children gone. Wife gone. Gave me ultimatums. And I took another step. As I got closer to my breakthrough, I still was in pain. As I got closer to my situation, I was still going through. Doubt set in. Worry showed up. All the things that I did wrong showed up. All the things that I did, the folks showed up. I was in a place called despair. I was in a place called can't get out. I was in a place called crawling my way out. I felt like a crab in a barrel. The only difference, when I climbed up, something climbed up on top of me and made sure that I was down. But when I went to the altar, it got closer to me. Another step. Remind me. My mama told me, she said, son, I might not be here when you change, but I'm sure you're going to change. Somebody prayed for me. Somebody had me on their mind. They took the time. Is there anybody here? Let somebody take the time and pray for you. And as I took that step of faith, I felt like Peter for a minute. I was walking on the waters of my trouble. I was walking on the waters of my pain. I was walking on the waters of my fear. I had fear coming off of my stuff. I had fear coming out of my situation. And I kept on walking. My wife wasn't there with me. My children wasn't there with me. It was me and God. He said, I'm going to change you from the inside out. I'm going to restore you like never before. So when I looked over to the altar one more time, I got there and it was just me and God. And I said, God, my situation. He said, say no more. I got you. He said, say no more. I come to restore you. Say no more. I come to repair you. He said, say no more. It's not too hard for me. You see, you had the answer when you went to me. You ran out of answers when you went everywhere else. You see, I tried everything, but I did not try God. One step didn't do. 12 steps didn't do. I took that step. Matter of fact, I took a crawl. I crawled to God. I said, God, I'm in a situation just like Jeremiah. I needed some restoration. I needed some direction. I needed some preparation. You see, when I got to the altar, I was preparing myself while I was crawling. I crawled with the knowledge knowing I got nothing to lose. I got everything to gain. The worst have already been happening. Now I can only expect a miracle. When you come to your life of miracles, you come to the head-on collision with your pain. You come to a head-on collision with your sorrows. You come to a head-on collision with the things that you've been disgusted about. But I come to tell you and reassure somebody else that when you give it to God, He said, bring it to me and leave it there. I left it, and something came on the inside. I finally figured out what that something was. It was the Holy Ghost that stepped on in and had some Windex, started skeeting on the inside of my spirit, and said, now you are really clean, because the oil of the anointing changed me down on the inside. And ever since then, I'm the wrong person to even question God. When I get in a miracle. When I get in a but-God situation, I say I'm in the right place because here come God. He's about to show up. Here come God. He's about to fix my problem. Here come God. He's about to do the things that I can't do. Have you ever looked at God just like when Jesus, he looked at the people when he was at the wedding. He said to them, you guys are drinking some water? Look like you should have some wine. The Bible says that Jesus turned the wine, that water into wine. And they said, you saved the best for last. I come to tell you that you are the best. That's why you've been last. God wants you to know, just because you showed up late, don't mean he still can't use you. Just because you didn't get there on time, doesn't mean he's not going to fix you. He said, you might have been through something that ain't nobody else been through. You might have been through something even so hard that it held you down, but when you finally came up for air, you squeezed. Squeeze your neighbor and say, we're going to squeeze to our breakthrough. We're going to squeeze to our healing. We're going to squeeze past the pain. Remind me that when I was in this other situation that I talked about, he stilled the storm. Don't you remember back in Mark 4:35 through 41, there was a storm. There's some storms in your life. You just need Jesus to speak to your situation